Today, we are jumping ahead to 2026 to look at a really critical shift happening in healthcare: AI. And here's the spoiler: the future isn't about better algorithms. It's about a secret role that could decide which hospitals thrive and which ones, well, don't. Let's get into it. So let's start with a pretty brutal truth from my observations. For all the hype, all the money being thrown around, the reality on the ground is this: AI without a human system to manage it, to orchestrate it, is just an expensive, noisy distraction. You know, for years, the big question in healthcare tech has always been, can AI predict this? Can it see a problem coming? But by 2026, that's not even the right question anymore. We are walking into a totally new era where the only thing that matters is completion. So the question becomes, can our system, humans and AI together, actually make sure this task gets done? And believe me, that one little shift changes absolutely everything. And that brings us to the central problem: the AI paradox. You've got this incredibly powerful technology, but so many of these supposedly transformative projects just die in what's called pilot purgatory. They never escape the lab and make it to the real world. Why? Well, it's because there's this giant missing link between what the algorithm predicts and what can actually happen on a chaotic hospital floor. And look, this isn't happening in a bubble. This whole problem is getting way more urgent because of a bunch of interconnected crises that are hitting healthcare all at once. The stakes are getting higher for everybody. Let's just quickly run through them. First off, the party's over for endless AI experiments. Hospital leaders, especially the CFOs, are totally done celebrating pilot projects. They want results. The new rule is simple and it's unforgiving. If you can't show a measurable return on investment in 6 months, that contract is not getting renewed, period. Second thing we've got, the trap of what people are calling agentic AI. Now, these are AIs that don't just find problems, they actively try to solve them. But here's the huge warning sign: if you automate a process that's already chaotic and broken, you don't get efficiency. You just get dysfunction at machine speed. Your shiny, expensive new AI is suddenly handcuffed to your absolute messiest workflow. Third up is data. I know, but stick with me. Your FIRE strategy is your AI strategy now. FHIR. That's FHIR is the technical standard for how healthcare information gets exchanged. For years, everybody thought of this as just boring, plumbing. But in 2026, making your data usable for AI with standards like FHIR is a core strategic move. It's not just about moving data around anymore. It's about getting it ready for smart action. And finally, there's risk. I mean, think about it. More connected devices, more vendors, more AI agents running around. It all just adds up to more and more risk. And the source argues that the hospitals that are going to win are the ones that treat AI governance with the same life or death seriousness as they treat clinical infection control, not as just another IT policy document you file away somewhere. Okay, so let's just take a breath. We've got this intense pressure for ROI. We have the danger of automating total chaos. We've got data problems, and we've got these exploding risks. The big question is, who on earth is supposed to manage all of this complexity? And this brings us right to the heart of the forecast. The solution isn't another shiny piece of software. It's a person. It's a brand new pivotal role that ties all these different threads together. The secret orchestrator. And here it is. The breakout role that solves this whole AI paradox. It is the nurse AI orchestrator, manager. I know, probably not what you were expecting, right? But when you really break it down, it makes perfect sense. Now, the crucial thing to get here is that this is not an IT support job. An AI orchestrator is a senior nurse who has these deep, intuitive systems thinking skills. Think of them as the control plane, the human in the loop, who directs the traffic between the clinical teams on the floor and all these autonomous AI agents, all to make sure the work actually gets done and gets done safely. But why nurses? Well, because nurses are already the best real-time orchestrators in any hospital. I mean, think about it. On any given shift, they're juggling multiple patients with competing needs, thinking about the entire system from the moment someone is admitted to the moment they leave, optimizing scarce resources under incredible pressure, and constantly translating between doctors, techs, patients, and their families. That is the exact skill set you need to manage this new world of human-agent collaboration. Okay, I know what you're probably thinking. That sounds great. But can we really justify that kind of investment in one person? Well, let's get into the business case, because the numbers here are pretty staggering. Yeah, the proposal does not mess around. We're talking about a $500,000 salary for a top-tier nurse AI orchestrator, and these numbers here shows you why that number isn't crazy at all. Actually, it's a bargain. The math is pretty straightforward, and it's all about getting patients through the system, them more efficiently. If a single ICU bed day is worth somewhere between $25,000 and $50,000 to a hospital, just look at the value this role unlocks by orchestrating things better and saving just one bed day per week. This role generates over $1 million in value. The salary pays for itself many, many times over. And the value doesn't even stop at the bed days. This one person consolidates all the firefighting that's currently being done by multiple leaders. They fine-tune the hospital's operational gears to cut out waste and friction. And crucially, they stop the bleeding from all those hidden costs that come from just pure operational chaos. So what would this manager actually do all day? Honestly, think of them as the air traffic controller for the hospital's clinical operations. They're rounding tasks between the humans and the AI. They're monitoring the safety rules and permissions for what an AI can and can't do on its own. They're watching the backup plans for when things inevitably go wrong. They're monitoring the whole system for bottlenecks, and they're the ones driving the staff to actually adopt and use these new tools. Okay, this brings us to our final and most actionable takeaway. This is a simple gut check that you can apply to your own organization's AI strategy. Because here's the real punchline to all of this. Very, very soon, everyone is going to have access to the same powerful AI models. The technology is becoming a commodity. So the real lasting competitive advantage isn't going to be the algorithm you buy. It's going to be your in-house talent for orchestration, coordination, and communication of patients, staff, inventory, departments, and transfers. So next time you're sitting in a big AI vendor demo, I want you to ask the team these 3 simple questions. Number 1, who in this room owns completion, actually making sure the work gets done? 2, who is on the hook for redesigning the workflow when it inevitably breaks or needs the bottlenecks fixed? And 3, who is getting that call and is held accountable when an AI agent fails at 2 in the morning? Because if you can't put specific names next to those 3 questions, you don't actually have an AI strategy. You just have a very nice slide deck. And that is a powerful thought for every single healthcare leader to think about as we all race into this AI-driven future. That's why we need the enabled Florence Nightingales of today.